Alright, so 7.2 is matrix algebra. So some of this will look familiar, you've seen it before, but we're just going to review it because, well, A, we have time, and B, we only have one more section after this to cover. So, anyways. Alright, so a matrix, we let M and N be positive integers. An M by N matrix is a rectangular array of M rows and N columns of real numbers. And it's laid out like this. It's A11, A12, A1N going across, and then down we have A21, and then, well, we keep going across A22, A2N, and then skipping some going down, AM1, AM2, AMN. And the shorthand notation to represent this matrix is A sub ij to denote this matrix. Alright, so there's a whole bunch of definitions here. They're not like long, so but there's just a lot of them. So element as each number or letter, okay, as the case may be, in the matrix a row subscript is the first subscript I. So we always list, when we're talking about a matrix, we always say rows first and then columns. And then the column subscript is the second subscript J. The order of the matrix, okay, again, like I said, it'll be rows first, then columns. Okay, it's an M by N matrix is how we say it, which is M rows and N columns. A square matrix is where M is equal to N, so there's the same number of rows and columns. Then equal matrices same order and corresponding elements are equal. So by that, I mean it has the same number of rows and columns the two different matrices do. Don't confuse it with a square matrix. This is like if I set two equal to each other, if they have the same number of rows and columns, then the corresponding pieces are equal to each other. Okay, so this will allow us to do stuff like you're given a matrix and you're given another one and it'll say like solve for x, and that will allow you to do that. Take a brief pause from the definitions and stuff to talk about matrix addition and matrix subtraction. Let A equal A sub ij, okay, the matrix A sub ij, and B equal the matrix B sub ij. And when we're talking about a matrix, if we're going to refer to it just by a letter, we always use capital letters, or you can write it in this little matrix notation here with the brackets on it.
So up above in that big matrix, was that A11, A12, A1n, and then A?
Yeah. So this is the columns here. So n represents the columns. So this is saying all of these are in row 1. That's what all the ones are for. And then column 1, column 2, column n, because we don't know how many there is. This is just like a generic one. And then the same thing with m, and that's why the final one is A sub mn, because we don't know how many rows it is and we don't know how many columns it is, so that's why we list it that way. Now obviously normally we have a set matrix. This is just for a general form of it.
So where the heck did you get ij from?
Some books use I and J. I think your book technically uses, well, it goes back and forth. I don't know. I is the same thing as M and J is the same thing as N. I don't really know why they mix them, but your book does mix them, so that's why I have them like that. Alright, so we're letting A and B be those matrices of order m by n. The sum A plus B is the m by n matrix such that A plus B is equal to, all in a bracket, A sub ij plus B sub ij. Or secondly, the difference, A minus B, is the m by n matrix such that A minus B is equal to A sub ij minus B sub ij. Back to some definitions. So scalars are real numbers, and we say let k be a real number such that the product of K and the M by N matrix A equal to A sub ij is the M by N matrix K times A is equal to K times A sub ij. Yep. Yep. That far enough?
Yeah.
Okay. The scalar multiple of A is the matrix K times A equal to K times A sub ij. We also have what we call a zero matrix. Which is any M by N matrix consisting entirely of zeros. So 0 is equal to, or O is equal to the matrix that has zeros in it. And this is officially called matrix O. Okay, so that could be one, or another example could be okay, that is still a zero matrix. It's consisting entirely of zeros. And then much like regular algebra, we have an additive identity, okay, that is for matrices. O, or the zero matrix, is the additive identity because A plus 0 is equal to A. And the additive inverse we have matrix B, which is equal to negative A sub ij, so that A plus B is equal to 0. It can also be written B equal to negative A.
Maybe get that feeling when you feel like you have to sneeze, but you're not gonna sneeze.
Yeah, it happened to me like 3 times this morning.
Happening right now. It's full.
Are the eyes going to use subscripts for this?
Yeah. We're a page and a half into the 4 pages of notes, in case anybody wanted to know. No, we won't have time. Last year, this was like I think it was over an hour-long video that they had to watch last year. Because it was when we were in quarantine that they did this.
I don't think I ever watched the video. And then it was really obvious because I did everything in different methods than we were supposed to. I got the answers. Just roll my method.
That's also why I stopped pulling problems out of the book. All my testing quizzes come straight from the book.
That would have been great to know that.
But then I knew people were attempting to cheat or cheating, so I stopped. And I'd go pull problems from elsewhere. Or just out of my brain, and I hoped they worked. Alright, so matrix multiplication. This probably, well, I don't know. This probably is your least favorite thing when I make you do it by hand. Huh? Yeah, calculator is great. All right.
I thought I just wrote additive identity twice, but there's additive inverse. Almost makes me feel
All right. Let A equal to A sub ij, B, N. Okay, notice this one's going to be different. M, whoa, too many humps. M by R matrix. B and B A. I don't know, sure. Will be grammatically correct. I'm a math teacher, not an English teacher for a reason.
Make your teaching is.
Just don't tell Miss Patton, because she might be offended. She knows I'm not an English person, though. Sorry. B sub ij. B and R by N matrix. The product.
Why do math teachers use the same letters?
A, B.
Like the most similar letters. U, D, A, I, J, M, N.
Equal to C sub ij is the M by N matrix. I feel like it's just annoying Logan because all the letters are going together right now. Oh goodness, you're gonna really like this next part.
So I've written like half the words twice, like right after, like I wrote B, I write let, and I forget I wrote let, and I write let again.
Alright. Is the M by N matrix where? Alright, prepare yourself. Here we go. C sub ij is equal to A sub I1 B sub 1j plus A sub I2 B sub 2j plus plus A sub IR B sub RJ.
You're gonna have to give us like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all get that one down before I keep going.
IJ, and I heard C sub JJ, and that's where I got stuck at.
I'm gonna pause momentarily for y'all to get that down.
I'm still writing my bucket.
We got a little bit more for today, and then we'll be done.
That's the one. After the A, I.
A sub IR, B sub RJ.
Making all of my ones.
Wait, right? Are you talking about right here?
Yeah.
Oh, I1, B sub 1J. I thought you were at the end. That's why.
Sort of air.
I'm making all of my ones very distinct.
That's failed.
Oh, that's B1J.
That's, oh. Oh, God, I put an I.
huh? Oh, 2.
I thought it was Z.
I mean, I guess it could be. It wouldn't technically matter because it's just a variable, but
Hold up, it's a number, but it's a variable?
no. If they use Z, I said it would just be a variable representing 2. All right. So the next definition, the identity matrix of order n by n is the matrix I sub n with ones, okay, like the number, on the main diagonal okay, upper left to lower right and zeros everywhere else. Okay, so that looks like I sub n is equal to
Oh, that's what it is. I love that.
Is that oh, yeah, that's right. It's okay.
Is that supposed to be like 0 degrees Celsius when I read it?
hold on.
It's like a and an S, right?
Yes, like an apostrophe S. Also a new cake shop in the mall. A former police officer opened a cake shop in the mall, and it's called O's Cakes.
Oh, I was like, what? You just stopped it.
Yep.
Little free marketing for them. I haven't tried it yet, but I want to. Mainly because I can't have it right now, so. In your life?
Oh, no, I've probably been here like 3 times
Oh.
total. What is the thing?
And one final definition for today. Multiplicative identity.
She said
Spell like
multiplicative, and I said, okay, I'm out.
It honestly is spelled just like it sounds.
Yeah, but it just sounds like too much for today.
So does kindergarten. So the freaking spelling bee lady says it's kindergarten. I'm like, hi.
Yeah, kindergarten is not spelled like you would think. Well, actually, it depends because it actually technically can be spelled both ways that people tend to do it. It's what I've always been told.
There's more than one way to spell kindergarten.
Oh,
Okay, we're just not gonna go there.
Don't make Logan mad.
I have heard that you can do it 2 different ways, and technically they're both right, but one is more right than the other.
Logan's gonna storm back in there, find the student lady. Excuse me.
Who was your kindergarten teacher?
Oh, I didn't go here for kindergarten.
Oh, I thought you
our
There's
did.
a lady
Miss
named Miss
Parker.
Star who was sexist.
Mine was
Not even
Mrs.
joking. She hated all the boys.